Sadam, welcome yogis and yoginis. Hello, welcome back. One more live stream. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. I'm very happy to be here today. For some reason I was feeling a lot of joy in connecting here. Let us tune in. Let us chant the Om Namo Gurudev Namo and the Ad Guru Name, and we can synchronize our energies together. Is everything okay with the connection? Hold on. Yes, I think it is. I'm receiving some error, but I think it's okay. All right. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale deeply to chant. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Adgurenamem, Jugadgurenamem, Sadgurenamem, Siddhigurudevanamem, Adgurenamem, Jugadgurenamem, Sadgurenamem, Siddhigurudevanamem, Adgurenamem, Jugadgurenamem, Sadgurenamem, Siddhigurudevanamem. Vaheguru. Satnam John, yes, Satnam on this full moon. You know, I was chanting Om Namo, the full moon came to my head. I was like, oh, today is full moon. And maybe you were thinking very strongly and I picked it up, or it's in the air, and we tuned in together, right? The Guru is telling us today is full moon. Should we do something special today? I think we could do something about the full moon, yeah. How do you celebrate the full moon? Is there some particular mantra or some particular meditation that you do or something? I would like to hear. If there is anybody else here, just say hello, say Sadam, you're here, so we can connect together. And on this full moon, yeah, when there is full moon, there's always a particular energy, yeah? Things become more intense. It can be more intense in either direction, yeah? It can be hardships, but it can also be like more profound meditations. So yeah, full moons have a profound impact on us. I think this is kind of connected by, you know, the planets have an impact on us. The planets have, the moon has an effect on us, the stars have an effect on us. That's why astrology in some way works, even though I don't understand astrology, I never studied it. But I study numbers. I study the date of birth, and I study according to the day and according to numbers, which are connected to the planets and the stars in a way that's affecting us. And it can be very strong. Yeah, the moon even pulling with the gravity of the moon pulling the waters, right? Creating the tides. And that's affecting the tides in the body being 60, 70% water. Then we can feel it also in our emotions, our feelings, yeah. And energy flows like water, so energetically we can feel that full moon. I wonder if we could do some special meditation on that. But I was thinking today also about I was thinking about Ramana Maharshi and the process of self-inquiry. Somebody talked about mentioned self-inquiry in the last live stream I was doing on the mind, and I thought that it would be nice to talk a little bit about that. And maybe when I say talk, it would be like a meditative talk, yeah? Because my idea of these sessions is very much Gyan Yoga. So even though we are not doing postures, we are doing postures with the mind and the consciousness, meaning that if a meditation, what it does is clean the subconscious and break up old patterns of thinking and create new ones and awaken the consciousness. Can this conversation not do the same, right? Cannot we, by talking now, break old patterns, awaken consciousness, clean the subconscious by having a discourse, meditative discourse on anything, in this case, self-inquiry? Would that not be the same? So if that is the same, then how is this different from meditating? Yeah. I mean, there's many ways of meditation, but this particular conversation, it depends on your attitude, right? But the way you take it, if you are applying it in the way that I'm describing with consciousness, then we would be meditating while we are talking. So John suggests later I will try Wahe chant through my didgeridoo late. Oh, nice. Didgeridoo. I love didgeridoo. And when I was a child, I used to try to do the didgeridoo sound with my voice. And then this like that. and so I discovered I could do harmonics as well. And later on, when I was, I don't know, 9 or 10, I saw a documentary on TV about one guy who was visiting a blind singer from Mongolia, and he was doing throat singing. I had never heard of throat singing before, but I realized that that's kind of what I was playing with. So I became fascinated with that throat singing, and which is basically, if you've never heard of it, is basically doing more than one sound at the same time with the mouth, using the different chambers of the mouth and maybe even the nose or maybe the throat cavity, utilizing it to create specific resonances for some harmonics to vibrate strongly. And so you can change in the shape of the mouth, you can change the harmonic that is resonating, and it makes for quite interesting sounds. I really only played with that as a child. I never done it. I never really studied it deeply. I've only done one workshop on this in the past. But I always like to play with that, and I found that producing the sound particularly, because listening to the sound could be quite annoying, or so I've been told. But the effort of producing the sound creates such a awareness that you're so attentive to the sound that creates a state of meditation. But I can demonstrate just very, very simply, but I'm not very good at it, but I can demonstrate that kind of vibration I did, that was kind of the throat singing, but the basic would be something like this. I don't know if it was heard through the microphone, But I was just changing the shape of the mouth, and so more than one sound are produced at the same time. And doing this, you can make music. So Mongolians, particularly people from Mongolia, they have quite a few styles of music with this, and very, very interesting. Um, just an anecdote I remember now. It just comes to my mind, so I'll share it. I was one day, I was in the street and I was going to buy some bread or something, and through my town, and I was just going, and I was passing in front of some rubbish, some bins, some bins to throw the rubbish in, and just crossing in front of them, and then there was this one guy who was going to throw the garbage, and then we cross, and he had a nice face, and somehow I say hello to him, and he say hello, and something like 30 seconds later or 40 seconds later, he was telling me all about how he uses harmonics to vibrate the different chakras. so like first harmonic to the first chakra and second harmonic to the second chakra and things like that. And it was just, I never met him before. I never saw him again. I don't even know where he came from. I don't know where he went to. But, and it was only an interaction for 2 to 3 minutes. I mean, that's really short, 2 to 3 minutes, yeah? Maybe it was 4 minutes. I don't know, not more than that. And somehow I got this idea that, you know, we're always being guided, right? And somehow we can just feel the vibration of somebody else. And that guy felt that I liked this vibration. So he just started to talk about the harmonics of throat singing. I wasn't even singing, I wasn't chanting, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't even with a turban. I was not wearing like a yogi. I was just walking in the street. And this is the kind of things that happen in someone's life when you tune yourself right to the universe. I am having, you know, I have a lot of these kind of synchronicities and strange things, but I found it very, very interesting. So, yeah, meditation through sound. I don't know what I was talking before this. You were saying Wahid chant. Wahid, you mean the Waheguru, John? You mean chanting Waheguru? I wonder if there is any Waheguru meditation with for the full moon. There is a number of full moon meditations that we utilize in Kundalini Yoga, but I'm not sure if there is any with Waheguru. Maybe I can check it out. So I don't know what I was talking about, but then I remember I mentioned about Ramana Maharshi's and self-inquiry. So we will go with that. So this self-inquiry is, I was talking about how conversation can be a meditative process, yeah? But I don't want to just be talking, because I already talk a lot on Tuesday with the mind course. So let's do a little bit of philosophizing today, and let's take the idea from Ramana Maharshi, questioning the nature of reality, the reality of our identity, and who we are, and trying to find the root of our essence, let's say. Mongolian throat singing is great. Yes, I agree. I like it. Have you tried before, John? Did you sing? And I saw a show once of there was this couple, and the lady was playing an instrument, and the head of the instrument, it was a string instrument, it was with the shape of a horse, which is something very much of the culture of the people from the steppes, and the guy was throat singing. And that was an incredible show. That concert was mind-blowing. I love that one. Incredible. Okay, so self-inquiry is about questioning, who am I? What's the nature of my essence, my reality? So who am I? So I remember at the very, like 20-something years ago when I started coming back into the spiritual path, and questioning the nature of reality, of what I perceived was reality. And me coming from a background of engineering, physicist, and mathematics, and computers, and all that, then I wanted to question everything, right? That's the skeptic course. You have a go? Yeah, John? Awesome. I wish we could hear each other. So, wanting to question everything, then I started to reflect upon this concept that, body, mind, spirit. Okay, so let's take it step by step. I'm not the body. How do I know that I am not the body? How can I relate to this idea? And so I will just explore it now. I will just say how I went through it 20-something years ago, if I remember. But feel free to comment in the chat as well. Yeah, how do you relate to that concept? So I am not the body. This is very simple, right? If we were to lose a finger in an accident, right, or to lose a hand, would you feel that you have lost a part of you? I mean, depends on how identified you are with your hand. You would feel that your body is missing a hand, but would you feel less of yourself? And if I go to the experience of who I am, I don't think I would lose that experience of who I am. So losing one hand, losing one arm, doesn't mean that, a part of Ardaas is missing in some way. It would just mean that now I have one less arm. So it will have a lot of implications, and may it never happen. I don't want this to happen, please. But I wouldn't lose myself. So the body which I am using would lose a hand or lose an arm or a finger or whatever, right? So the body is something that I inhabit, but I am something else that is inhabiting the body. So if I am not this finger, if I am not this hand, you can say the same about the arm, about the foot, about the leg, about any part of the body, really. And until there was no body at all, right? So can we say that, no, it's not your leg, but you are your heart? Well, the heart is just a physical organ that is beating, and it is more important than my foot, but is it me? No, it's not me, right? Even some people go through a heart transplant. Do they lose their essence? No, they do not. You could say, well, your brain then? Well, then we are coming closer to the mind. The brain is just the sustenance for the mind. Yeah, it's just the substrata. I don't know how to say it. Like the foundation for the mind. All right. So I'm not the body. Let's assume that. Well, what is next? Body. Emotions. I mean, that's very easy to think about it, because emotions come and go, and they are moving constantly, and they are fluctuating. I cannot be that, because if they left, then I would leave, and I'm not leaving. I'm still here, right? John says, I lost a kidney and came back stronger. Really? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that's an intense experience. How do you come back stronger? Because losing a kidney, I'm sure it has taken a toll on the physical body. So I wonder if to recuperate from that, you took some good habits and some self-discipline, and that made you stronger. Is that how it went? Or you mean stronger in a more willpower and grit kind of thing? Or is it physical strength? Is it emotional strength? Is it spiritual strength? Mental strength? Kidneys, by the way, is like in Chinese medicine is said that this is where the prenatal prana is stored. So the prana, the energy that we have for life, that is before being born, is already given to us. So it's said it's stored in the kidney. So I wonder about your levels of energy, John. How are you doing? Did you recharge yourself in a different way? Let us know. So I'm not the body, I'm not the emotions. But then am I the mind? Okay. That's the next step, isn't it? It's the next logical step. So let's explore that. Am I the mind? Well, some of you may know I've shared it before that at that time I had been doing lucid dreaming for a long time, for something like 8 years or so, and so I was quite knowledgeable with it. I had very good practice with that, and so what happens during the dreams? Well, first, the fact that the physical body is disconnected from the dreams, that's another sign that we are not the body. Because when we are in the dreams, we are experiencing something in the dream, but the physical body is disconnected from that, right? So if we are swimming in a dream, you are not swimming in the bed. Otherwise, it would be a mess, right? If you are running in the dream, you would be coming out of the bed. Some people actually get up and start running, and that's kind of dangerous, yeah? Some people have to go, close and lock down the windows when they go to a hotel, for example, because that can happen, if you are moving during sleep. But, okay, so I'm not the body. Now, if I am dreaming, when I dream, I have another body. And I am convinced that that is me. So because I was doing lucid dreaming, which means that I could change the dream consciously, I experimented a lot with having a different body from a human body. So, like being a point of light in the universe, floating across the universe, or being an animal. And I remember very clearly, the dream of being a swan and being in a lake in Canada with beautiful landscape and just swimming slowly. So, was I a swan? I was not a swan. But in the dream, I felt I was a swan. I felt the body touch with the water. I felt my wings. I felt everything, right? So, who is that, the one dreaming? Because I think I am that. But everything, that swan that I identify with, when I wake up in the morning, that swan doesn't exist. So have I stopped existing? No, I have not. Then how could I be that if I didn't stop existing? So if the mind switches from one mode to another, from awake to asleep and dreaming, and then in dreams you identify yourself with a number of things, but those things disappear, that's very interesting as well about what is telling us about our experience of the dreams. It's telling us a lot about our experience with the world, but it's also telling us something about how we experience. So what I mean is, in that dream, all those mountains, those trees, the water, the swan, the sun, the leaves, other birds, everything that I remember from the dream, that was a whole world, like a whole different world. And that seemed as real as right now I see this bottle of water and I can touch it and I can feel it, right? It was just as real as this in the dream, right? So hold on. If I was convinced that that was real, I was lucid dreaming, so I knew it was a dream, right? But the experience was just as clear as when you are awake. Actually, some lucid dreams can even be more intense than when you are awake. So, intensely real, apparently real. So, what does it say about this experience? How can I know that this is real? This idea of the matrix, right? The matrix. So, how do I know that this is more real than the dream? So we don't know, just for starts, yeah? Because it could all be happening just in the mind. It could all be a fantasy, right? Okay. So let's put a pin on that idea because we will come back to it with the process of self-inquiry, yeah? But John is saying, back to yoga, which I hadn't done for a long time before, but pranayama helped me a lot. Yes, good. Pranayama to bring back energy, yeah? Because, it's quite intense, losing a kidney. So I imagine you must have gone through a big process of recuperating, yeah? To get back to your energy levels again. But John, you continued feeling that you existed, right? Did you feel that a part of you was left, that you missed a part of you, that you were less John than before, let's say? I hope not, but let us know. So in the dreams, if I am dreaming all those things, I am generating that. So, what is that mountain, that lake, that swan, that sky, those clouds? What is that? Where is that coming from? If it's not real, if it doesn't exist because I wake up and that disappeared in a puff of smoke, where is that coming from? Well, it comes from me. My mind produced those images. Wait a moment. So your mind is producing all that, and you identify with a little bit of that. So, in the dream, you identify with yourself in the dream, but you don't identify yourself with the mountain. And the mountain is part of your mind. Did you ever stop to think about this? Like, if you're dreaming about a mountain and you are like skiing down the mountain or walking down the mountain, whatever, you think you are the person who is coming down the mountain, but the mountain is also part of your mind because your mind designed that mountain and projected it. So do you feel identified with the mountain? And the answer is no. But that is also part of the mind. So that makes me reach to a conclusion that I cannot be that mind. If I am not the mountain, if I don't feel I am the mountain, but yet I am, and then I wake up and then I realize that the mountain didn't even exist, that cannot be real, right? Real is something that is beyond a transitionary phase like waking up. It would have to be real before and real after waking up. So my essence, my reality, who I am, it cannot be that mountain and it cannot be that swan. It has to be something else. And if that's what my mind identified with, the sun and the mountain, well, the sun, not the mountain, but the mountain is projected by the mind, then I cannot be that. So we cannot be the mind. And the very fact that when I am meditating, I can see the mind in front of me, or I can hear the mind thinking, that's me observing the mind. Who is that me? Is that my mind? How can it be? Is that different parts of the mind, one observing the other? No, it's not. It's consciousness. Okay. Hold on a second then. So the one who is observing the mind in meditation, and the one who is observing the mountain in the dream, is the same one, consciousness. It's just that the consciousness is directed towards one thing or towards another. John, no difference except my mind is stronger. Yes, nice, good. Good. Now the mind that is stronger is time to be at your service, right? Because if the mind is stronger but we don't hold the reins of the mind, then the mind is going to be our own obstacle. Which is, by the way, one of the biggest challenges I see, especially with intelligent people. The mind is your worst enemy somehow. Sometimes if you are if you apply the mind very strongly, if you're an intellectual person, then the mind is the main obstacle in ourselves, in our own development. So if let's just follow with this idea of the dreams. If I am not that image in the mind when I'm dreaming, how is that different from what I identify with right now as I am awake? It's not. There is no difference. Because when I go to sleep, this body, I'm totally disconnected from it, as if it was dead. and then I wake up in a dream and maybe I'm a swan. Okay, and I think that's me. I am that now. But wait a moment. Later on, I will wake up, and this little swan is dead now. It disappeared. And so, and also what happens in deep sleep. No, not even with dreams, but in deep sleep. How can it be? So it cannot be. It cannot be that whatever is happening in the mind, that those processes and those vibrations, those thought waves, I cannot be that. Hopefully you followed my logic, yeah, in some way. I'm trying to apply a logical thinking for the mind to understand. Because if the mind understands, the mind can submit itself and then be at your service in the pursuit of what you are looking for. In my case, like you're saying, John, no? Your focus is stronger. So what are we going to focus on? Right? The focus is stronger, so what are we going to focus the mind on? All right, so this is what Ramana Maharshi says. Well, focus the mind on the process of self-inquiry. Who am I? If I am not this body and I don't lose anything when I lose a part of the body, which, by the way, is quite funny as well. I remember a talk by Sadhguru talking how he had one realization and he was eating an apple and the apple was not him. He thought, this apple is not me. But, half an hour later, the apple is half processed and dissolved and the different nutrients of the apple are part of his body and he's constructing his cells out of the apple. So by the next day, the apple is his body, is himself. So was the apple not myself or was the apple always myself? That's kind of like a paradox, isn't it? So this body is not me, but at the same time, it is through this body that I am having an experience of this world. And the mind is not me, but at the same time, it is through the mind that I am having an experience of the world or my inner world, like the mountain and the lake. So the body, emotions, and mind, they are all vehicles for us to experience. Okay? Hopefully you followed until here. All right. So any experience that we have, it has one element in common, right? Whether I'm experiencing this moment right now talking to you or you listening to me, or whether you are in a dream experiencing something happening in the dream, or whether you're in deep sleep and you're experiencing that but you're not aware of that, yeah? All experiences have one thing in common. You having the experience. So if I can not go out through my experience, but stay here, yeah, don't jump away, but stay here, pratyahara, right? Going inwards, even with my eyes open. Can I realize that all experiences in life are an experience of myself? Experiencing that. So it's an experience of my consciousness being aware of that. Satnam Bea. Saludos. Happy to be able to finally join you. Our blessings to all Waheguru. Satnam Bea. Welcome to this live stream. I'm going through some philosophical rant onto the nature of reality, and we're going to do a process of self-inquiry today, applying the method that Ramana Maharshi left us, but also in an intellectual way. I'm starting in an intellectual way, and then we will carry on in a non-intellectual way. But we were walking through this logical path that was taking us away from identifying with the body and the mind. I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, but the body and the mind are allowing me to have this experience of what the world is happening. Now, whether the world is real or not is not so relevant right now. The moment that we say that no matter what's happening, you are having that experience is more important about you who is having the experience than about the experience itself. Yeah, if it makes sense. Sometimes the word Maya is translated as an illusion, as creating an illusion. And we believe that illusion. But if it's an illusion, it's a very believable illusion. I mean, it's a very real illusion, let's say, because we are trapped in it. So let me bring the metaphor of the cinema. Ramana Maharshi used it. I actually read about this, again, 20 years ago, and I didn't read again until like right before switching on, right before we connected. I just checked very quickly to see if I had the different elements of the metaphor, if I remember the elements correctly. So let me go into that metaphor. The way Ramana Maharshi puts it is, if you go to a cinema and you are watching a movie projected on the cinema screen, or right now you are watching this on a screen, right? If there is a fire in the movie, does the screen get burned? No. If there is water in the movie, does the screen get wet? No. So in a way, the screen is beyond what is being projected on it, and is not affected by what is being projected on it. And yet, if there was no screen, we could not see the movie, right? There is a need for a screen for a movie to be projected on. So the screen is the self, unchanging, right? No matter what you project on it, it doesn't change. It doesn't change its substance. Okay. So the screen is the self. The movie is the experience that we are having of the world, right? What Maya is giving us, right? And we are seeing a movie right now. We could say that this is like a movie. The projector of the movie in this metaphor would be like the mind. And the light that is going into the screen, that's the consciousness. So it's like the mind is projecting the consciousness onto the movie screen, and it's drawing images there. The projector is drawing images with the light of the consciousness. I mean, if there was no consciousness, it's like there is no light, so the projector doesn't show images, right? But when the consciousness is on, then the projector takes the light, and through the different slides that he puts in front, like the old movies, then the images are being shown. So those images are like our experience of the world. That's the movie, projected from the mind, yeah? And Maya, we could say. But the light, the pure light, is just consciousness. Okay. So the thing is, we are seated in that cinema. And when I say we, it is our individuality, our sense of individual, ahankar, yeah? Our sense that I am one and I am separate. And that would also imply the ego, yeah? And we are sitting in that seat, in the cinema seat, and we are watching the movie, and we get totally lost into the movie. We actually don't even see the people around us. We are just seeing the movie, and we don't see the screen. We see the movie, we don't see the screen. Even though the screen is always there and we are looking at it, we have no experience of the screen. We have an experience of the movie. And yet, without the screen, there would be no movie because there would be no images projected on that. So that's the metaphor. Hopefully, I was able to convey it properly. So what does self-inquiry, what is the process of self-inquiry? He says, just ask yourself, who am I? If I am right here watching like a movie, you are watching me on a screen, so that's like a movie, right? I also have a screen in front of me, so this is my movie, yeah? And I'm watching that, but we get lost into what's happening there rather than noticing, wait, I am in a cinema, right? So let's just, all of us, for a moment, come back, yeah? Come back in towards ourselves and see it from the inside, if it makes sense. Like, see what's happening out there, but from here. And then notice this is just a movie. And that experience of seeing images, just like experience of smelling smells, is just me having that experience. And when I say me, I'm talking now about not the ego, but about the self. So let's see if we can tune into that experience. How about we do a little bit? Let's close our eyes. And when we close our eyes for meditation, we're going to do a meditative process of self-inquiry. Generally, there's two basic directions that the distractions are going to be pulling us. One is the physical body. The first distractions will be maybe your posture, if you are comfortable or not, if there is one piece of clothing that you're wearing that it's maybe not in the most comfortable position, and you want to move, you want to stretch, you want to feel like, oh, I need to adjust this or adjust the other thing, or maybe my belt is too tight. This is the kind of typical distractions that the physical body is going to provide. For the moment, if you notice any of those distractions, any physical feeling that is trying to pull you away from your center, just notice that you notice that. Okay? Just notice that you are noticing that. So some discomfort in some leg, for example, is just you are having an experience of the discomfort in the leg. And you can notice it, and you can even adjust the position if you need to. You can be comfortable. You don't have to be uncomfortable to do this exercise. But before moving, just first notice that you are noticing that. That there is one part of you, one essence of you, who is being conscious of that experience. And if you need to adjust something, you can adjust it. And that's the first kind of distractions that come in. The second kind of distractions are generally within the mind. And they come in the form of thoughts. If you pay attention, you will see them arising. So just be ready for that. Don't try to put the mind blank. Just be ready for the thought to come. Just listen to it. Just because you ask for the mind, come on, give me a thought, the mind will say, no, I'm not giving you one now. I'm not going to say nothing because you're going to judge me or something, yeah? But just stay there and just allow the thought to come. And when the thought comes, just experience it in the same way that you experience some discomfort in the leg. It's just a thought. And you look at it, you observe it. You, the consciousness, observes the thought. And notice it's just like a movie on the screen. But remember, the screen itself, that's the self. The basis for any experience, that's the self. And that's an unchanging reality. The center, the origin of all your awareness, perceiving all those things that are happening, that's an unchanging reality. Just notice that. You don't have to do anything. You don't even need to meditate. Just be aware of anything that arises in the experience, be it a physical feeling, a mental image, or a thought, a wave. Notice it, observe it, and let it pass. It's just like an image on the movie screen. Some thoughts will be more powerful than others, especially when you are talking to yourself about what you are doing. You don't need to narrate your experience of doing this exercise. You can just do it. If you find yourself trapped into a thought, just stop, notice where it came from, notice when it distracted you, and then come back to this idea of who am I that is experiencing this thought? Who am I? Go back to that. It's almost like a game, like being in the cinema in front of the movie screen and challenging the movie to be there and you seeing the movie screen. Saying, come on, throw me the most dramatic scene of the movie. Show me the climax, show me the explosion, show me the love, show me the whatever. And me just perceiving the screen. If you cannot sit and close your eyes, if you are moving in the world, if you are in the train or whatever you are doing, if you have to keep your eyes open, doesn't matter. You can still do this exercise with the eyes open. In fact, it's a very nice exercise. You're walking in the street and eyes open, and then you are still seeing everything that happens in front of you like a movie. I'm not saying it's not real, but can you see the screen behind? Any experience is an experience of ourselves. Who am I? So if the movie screen is myself, my real self, the light is the consciousness, the light focused on the screen is like looking at yourself. When you ask, who am I? You are trying to find that source of the light of consciousness. And then it's like inverting the consciousness to be aware of itself. Like, I am aware, I am conscious that I am consciousness. But you don't say that, it's just an experience as a result of the question, who am I? When you feel stable and strong, that center which vibrates consciousness, you may feel it located in the heart. Strong, pulsating, vibrating experience that I am. Being there, without going away from there, from that spot, notice that your body is experiencing feelings, sensations. Notice your breath coming and going. But you stay in that place where you are. And you can see it like it's just a movie on the screen, but you don't lose sight of the screen. Don't go away from that center as you experience the breath coming in and out. And it's deep in your heart. Sometimes a thought comes and picks you up, and then you go back up to the head. And as soon as you notice, what's the origin of that thought? What's behind that thought? And then you go back down. And the question, who am I, which helps you to find the source, then transforms into an affirmation. I am. I am. I am. But it's not an intellectual exercise. It is the feeling, a pulsating vibration of I am in your heart. Inhale deep. Exhale. Lift the arms. Inhale. Stretch, stretch, stretch. And shake a little bit. And relax. Open your eyes slowly. And as you open the eyes, notice that's the movie right there. And you are here. Stay here, right? So this is the process of self-inquiry. There is this story I remember in India from the student who is asking the teacher, so are you telling me, teacher, that this field is not real? He says, no. The sky is not real? No. These mountains are not real? No. The water is not real? No. The rose is not real? No. So what is real? He said. And the teacher says, the rose is not real, but its beauty is. The beauty of the rose is real. What does that mean? How are you hearing that? How is everyone? By the way, I've seen a few more people have connected. Satnam, everyone. You can say hello in the chat. How was your experience of self-inquiry? We did today, guided meditation. And what does it mean that the beauty of the flower is real? And is there everything else really not real? Is it so? Is this world not real? Because whatever we have, whatever our actions are in this world, the consequences are going to be very real. So, could we say that this is like a dream? It's not really. Is it? It feels like a dream. It behaves like a dream. It's like a dream in many ways, like the movie. But can we say that the world is not real? I think that's an escape. Yeah? To say that this world is not real is a way to escape what is happening to us. But in some ways, whatever is happening in this world and how we are behaving, our responses, our dharmic actions, that's really real. That has a strong impact on us, on our consciousness too. So how can that be not real? But let me know in the chat, what does it mean that the beauty of the rose is real? How do you hear that? And also, we were saying how there is full moon today, and anybody has an idea what we can do with the full moon? I'm going to check my big book of meditations. I'm thinking about now, my daughters watch these episodes in the TV. How are they called? Dog McStuffins, yeah? They have the big book of boo-boos, yeah? A book full of when somebody has pain. But I have a number of books with meditations. Let me check. Well, it's actually more than a book. It's like 5 big or 6 big folders like this, filled with meditations. And I can, if I want to find a particular meditation, like a meditation for the full moon, then this is an easy way to find it. So while I'm looking for it, please write in the chat, how was your experience? Or are you too blown away to say anything? So there's a number of meditations for the full moon from the Kundalini Yoga tradition. I'm trying to find one. Here it is. So let me just take a look at it 1 second, because I didn't prepare this. I could have, but I didn't. I'm always improvising in these sessions. Not the sessions with the course, but these ones are more improvised. So does anybody know what kind of sign are we in right now? Because there's one meditation said to be done on a full moon in a water sign. Anybody knows astrology? Let's see. So we are in Aquarius. Does that mean it's not water? That's funny, because Aquarius sounds like water, but here it says there it's not. Leo. Leo? We are in Leo now? John? Did I read this wrong? I thought Leo is from July to August. No, I think we're in Aquarius. In any case, it's not a water sign, so we would not do that meditation. But I have another one. I have a couple of meditations actually, but I had the feeling of doing this one, so I'm gonna suggest to do this one anyway. Partly because we were talking about the reality, the nature of reality. Reality is sat, but also such. You know, like in the Mool Mantra course, I talked about how in different areas of India they would say sat or sach. And sometimes when Guru Nanak was talking maybe more in the countryside, he would be saying such, like at, sajugat, such heavy such, and or such nam even. But then when it was more formalized, the language, it would become satnam. So for example, in the Mool Mantra we have Ekonkar Satnam, because that was normalized with the sat, even though in some parts of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib we can find Sachnam. And so such is truth as well. And there is a certain level of purity. And such is such an interesting sound. Such an interesting sound. Such combines the sound of the Kundalini with ch. Ch, ch is a purifying sound. It's vibrating up here. And yeah, up the upper chest. And it implies some effort. There's some effort, yeah? So in chanting such, you are creating this spiritual effort to wake up the Kundalini energy. And sometimes we chant the mantra, at such, you got such, hey, be such, nanakosi, be such. But it's not the case with this meditation. This meditation is just chanting such. Let me just show the paper so that in case anybody wants to see it. I don't know if you can see it very well. It's very small. I have very small copies of the meditations, but this is called Full Moon Sach Meditation from the Relax and Renew book, page 146 of Guru Ratnakar. This is one of the books from Guru Ratnakar. So you can see the Kundalini here, the sound, yeah, like a snake. Such, yeah. And this is a sound to vibrate, just simple, easy pose, straight spine, and just to vibrate on a full moon. So how about we do that? Yeah? So I'm just gonna write it here in case. So let's put it here. More or less. And so the idea is in this meditation is just simply to close your eyes and to listen. And we're going to be chanting the S and the Ch pronouns and long. And just go with the vibration of the sound, but stay within. Yeah, in this place that we were exploring the source of our experience of who I am. Yeah, I am. And before we do this, let me just say one thing. In the Moon Mantra course, I was exploring what the chanting of the mantra, what it does, yeah, the effect that it has on us. And as we are doing Ekunkar, Satnam, Kartapurak, there is a certain elevation of energy going up through the spine to the crown. And I mentioned how after jap there is a descent, like descending, yeah, descending into the heart. And the ending of the mantra with Atsa Jugatsa Hevi Sajnana Husebi Sach, that Sach is in the heart. So we're doing a meditation in the heart, like to the same place we were right now, doing the self-inquiry practice. And in this place, we're going to be chanting this Sach and this Sach. So we're going to elongate it and listen to the sound. But listen to the sound in that way, from that perspective, like a movie screen. Eh? Let's do it. Again, if you can, close your eyes. Easy pose. Straight back. Let's try that. 1 second. All right. Such, 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 such. Inhala. Y exhala. You can open your eyes. Okay, this is the meditation for the full moon. We do it only a few minutes, but I got somebody ringing my door, and I probably need to go and take a look. But just before I close, let me just say I was forgetting to say something. I activated in the channel the possibility for memberships. That means if you are subscribed to the channel, you can see all the videos, and everything is for free. I do all this like a service, I mentioned a few times. But if anybody feels the call to support this channel, to support me, to support this work that I'm doing, this seva, and if you would like to contribute in some way economically, then the memberships are open. You can join in, you can pay something monthly, you can cancel anytime. And for those of you who were asking me about how to receive the drawings that I'm doing, then for those who contribute, I think it's tier 3 or onwards, then you will be able to receive the drawings whenever I post the video. I do the drawing, and then I will send it to all the members. So, and also you will have nice emojis and badges and all these kind of things that you probably already know from YouTube, how it works. I had to figure it out because I didn't do it before. But now it's open, so if anybody wants to be a member, then I appreciate any contribution that anybody may want to do on that regards. I hope the exercise was interesting. The self-inquiry was a good exercise to find the self and enjoy this full moon and have a good meditation, and see you again next week. I will put in the channel, in the community tab, I will put the when am I going to be streaming for the next month, very, very soon, and you will be able to see it. Until next time, thank you for being all together, and Satnam.